Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Nitty Gritty to Balance podcast. I'm your host, Abigail, and joining us each episode is my mom, Staci, a holistic health coach and intuitive. Each week, we discuss topics through the lens of her work and subspecialties to bring to light the balance in the everyday. So with that, let's bring in the brains behind the balance and get this episode started. Welcome back to the NGB podcast, everyone. You know us. We're your hosts, Abbie and Staci. And I say this with every episode, but it's just the truth every episode, I guess. Today's a fun one. It's one I feel like is overdue. It's time that this one comes to life. And it is getting to know the brains behind the balance, also known as Staci. How do you feel about being the center of attention today? You know, you're always the one sharing the wisdom, but today it's all about you.
Yeah, it's fun.
It is fun.
It's fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's neat to get to reflect back and see the story, the path, where I am now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's fun too. Well, I wanted to start high level with our first question.
Oh.
What is your favorite color?
Oh.
And I'm curious.
You're getting nitty gritty right off.
I'm curious because I know what your favorite color was always growing up, right? I'm curious if it's still your favorite color now.
My favorite color is purple.
Okay, it's still purple.
Okay,
I'm glad.
Yeah.
Well,
at one time it was green.
Recently?
For a long time.
Or before it was purple?
I think through my schooling years, yeah. So I think maybe junior high, high school, maybe college, it was green. But then when I got married, the bridesmaids' dresses were purple. So purple was the color that pulled in. But then it seems like after that, I went back to really liking green. And I don't remember when it turned into purple, but
interesting.
It's purple.
Well, that's really funny because, I mean, I think I had different favorite colors. I feel like it always changed when I was growing up, but young adulthood into now, it's just consistently been purple. And I think for a long time, subconsciously, I feel that I know this is because it's my mom's favorite color, so it has to be my favorite color too. But it is just a beautiful color. Light purple, dark purple. Well, this is periwinkle. So it's a bluish purple. But there's so many different types of purple.
Yeah.
Like, even on our background, like, this hue, it turns into purple at the top. I mean, I love purple. Yeah. But it's so funny that you brought up green because mine is morphing into green. Purple and green. Yeah. I think purple will always be at the top. Yeah. But green is right there.
It's right there. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I got that from you too.
Maybe.
Yeah. When you see your energy or your aura, what color is it typically?
Yellow.
Okay.
Yep.
Yellow.
Always yellow.
Interesting.
Into some orange, but predominantly yellow. Okay. And when I've had my aura picture done, it's a lot of yellow.
What does yellow signify?
That's your third chakra.
Okay.
And so that's, if I remember correctly, that's creativity, really your self-confidence, maybe self-knowing.
Yeah.
And those are things that I've had to work on.
Right.
And still trying to discover and work more fully into. So yeah, that one. And a lot of the energy that I have really sits in that chakra level. It's a lot of gut and stomach energy that I feel.
Interesting.
Yes.
I haven't had an aura picture done. That's something that I need to do, huh?
Yes.
So sticking with, you know, kind of getting a little bit of a background on you, what is your sun sign? To talk a little bit astrology.
Yeah. My sun sign is Capricorn. And I don't know any of my other signs. Okay. I looked it up years ago and just don't remember.
Yeah. But, Yeah, and that's so interesting. Sun, moon, and rising signs. We have all of these different signs, and they come through, or they're expressed in very different ways.
Yeah.
So it's something that I had a lot of fun kind of researching my other signs, but we do primarily identify with our sun sign. So as a Capricorn, how do you feel like you embody that energy?
Capricorn is very earth energy. It's very grounding, pragmatic, practical, could be a little dry, but witty. And I definitely fit into all of that. I am very earthly.
Yes. Yeah.
And so, which is interesting because then moving into more of the intuitive, mystical, woo-woo, all of that, I'm having to learn to be in the upper chakras, the more, spiritual
more airy,
chakras, airy,
fluid.
Yeah.
Yes. You're used to that solid grounding energy.
Yes. Practical.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's very, very much me.
Yeah. I love that a lot.
Yeah.
And then going into a little more into human design, you and I are both manifesting generators. And how would you feel that you carry that energy with you?
Yes. So lots of ideas always in my head, which you kids know. I would come to you guys with all of these ideas, and y'all would laugh at me all the time.
I'm sorry,
And
Mom.
I know that's okay. At that time, I didn't know that that's, my
Right.
human design. I didn't even know about human design.
Yeah.
It was just how I was presenting myself to you kids, to the family. And yeah, we would laugh about it a lot. And very rarely would I carry through with something. But that's the whole point of a manifesting generator.
Yes.
Is you have all of these ideas, and not all of those ideas are for you. Some of these ideas are for those around you.
Yeah.
Or just not even at all.
Right.
You really are, the manifesting generator gets to explore these thoughts and ideas and see which ones they really align with.
Yeah.
And those are the ones you move forward with. The other really fun thing to know about a manifesting generator, or I think the Capricorn also pulls into this, is that we find the shortcuts. We find the quickest way of doing something, and we do it that way.
Right.
But the catch is that we miss steps in that. And so eventually it catches up with you, and you have to go back and relearn pieces of it to really fully integrate what you're manifesting or learning or whatever.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting because I really can keep that in mind now with the things that I do.
Yes.
And know, okay, yep, I'm already looking for that shortcut. I'm looking for that accelerated path. But now I know I'm going to be coming back around. I'm going to be revisiting all of this to fill in the spots that I bypassed.
Yeah.
And enjoying that about myself.
Well, and also catching on to those patterns. Yeah. Yeah, it helps your learning process quite a bit.
It does. It just gives me just this more full understanding of why I'm doing the things that I'm doing that I really don't have maybe this conscious plan of doing. It's just what my mind automatically takes over to do.
Yeah.
And I follow through with it. But now I've just got that overall understanding. Okay, this is just my design. This is how I go about.
Yes. And that's a fun piece about human design too, is because there's so much about ourselves that we think, oh, this is a bad habit, or oh, I can't follow through with this, whatever it may be. And human design does a really wonderful job at really breaking that down and puts it into a way that you can truly see it, acknowledge it, apply it in the real world, and just understanding more of your genetic makeup as it relates to this world.
Absolutely. So many people, and to understand that there are 5 designs, and I think 3 of them are pretty common, and then there's 2 that are less percentage of people in the world that fill the other 2 designs. And so to know that the three really carry humanity in the way that things get done. So to understand that the manifestors or the manifestor generators are to have all of these creative thoughts, but we can get hung up in thinking, well, I have all these creative thoughts and I'm not following through, so I'm lazy, or I'm not following through with it, what I'm supposed to be. You can really put yourself down the wrong path instead of understanding that that is your mission, is to have all of these thoughts. And it goes so much further than that I don't think we've really discussed with talking about intuition and energy and all of that. But, our thoughts go out to the collective. And so the thoughts that we have can be from the collective thought field that we pull in, and it applies to us. So then we move forward with it. Or it's these thoughts that are supposed to contribute to the collective thought field for somebody else to pull out. And then they move forward with it. It just goes into the collective consciousness. And that's our purpose, to be a manifestor or manifestor generator. And that's a whole podcast all on its own.
It is. It really is.
Not that we're experts in it,
right?
But we have taken a draw to it, so we've learned ourselves a little bit better in that, and just having a better understanding of that.
Right.
And it's easy for anybody in the audience or listener to go and get your own human design. There's lots of free websites or tools to plug in your information to get your own reading. And they are very involved. I think it's like 12 pages or more of this design that makes you up. So to really understand it fully, it's a good idea to get with a human design expert if that's something that anybody's interested in doing. But all you need is obviously your name, your birthday, your birth time is very important, and place of birth. And all of that gets plugged in, and you know a lot more about yourself.
It's pretty amazing, and I definitely love it. And there is a lot of information in your human design chart. And I find myself going back very often. Very often, and refreshing my memory. And, I always pick out something, oh, I forgot about that. Or, oh, I didn't really realize this before. And it does just give you a really nice inside scoop onto what's going on within your mind and your body.
Why you're choosing to do things a certain way that you might feel is annoying. Or, you just really don't understand, why do I do this? It really clears a lot of that up.
One of my favorite pieces is when you're acting as your not self. So when you're outside of your authenticity, my not self is frustration. So when I am frustrated with something, it's a direct ping in my mind. This is truly I'm out of my authenticity. And I think that's a fun piece to really grab onto. And I try to keep that with me as much as possible. Do you know what your not self is?
I think it's probably the same. I was going to say maybe anger. It's either frustration or anger.
Got you.
I need to go back and look at that and do kind of what you're saying you do, and pull that in as well. And see what how that's speaking to me. Interesting.
Very fun.
Nice.
Definitely recommend going and checking out your human
Everybody
design.
should know their human design. It just opens up a whole different line of thinking about yourself.
And there's so many pieces that you can go into and really dig up and discover things about yourself. You'll spend so much time in there. It's very, very fun. Well, getting a little more out of the astrology and more into the spiritual, what was your religion growing up? Or do you have any spiritual background from your childhood that you can kind of tie into or attribute to who you are today?
There's quite a few little pieces there that I could speak on. So my mom always proclaimed us as Lutheran.
Mm-hmm.
So anytime somebody would ask me my religion, that's what I would say that I was. We were not churchy. We did not go to church. My mom, on occasion, would try and pull in. So for a little while, we would have the tradition of Christmas Eve. We would go to a church program, which was always fun. We looked for, or at least I did, always looked forward to that.
Yeah.
That was something special. I remember that my mother made me go to a Bible study summer camp thing. I think it was like a week long. And I cried and cried and cried. I think I was 10,
Oh no.
10 or 11. And boo-hooed that whole morning. This sticks out so vividly. And all the way there, and really fought her on going. But once I was there, I really liked it. But I do also remember that I was very confused.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I would reflect back on this. This was a little piece that has just stuck with me all through, my adulthood.
Mm-hmm.
And what I was confused about, I have no idea. I remember that I really liked the arts and crafts part of that, but everything else felt frustrating and not right and confusing, and I didn't fit in with it. It's kind of a strange feeling to pull back up and reflect on, and not really understanding what that was all about.
And how old were you?
So I was 10, 11.
Okay. And was it just you, or your sisters were there too? Do you remember? Or was it just so isolating?
It probably, it was very traumatizing. It was probably me and my younger sister.
Okay.
My older sister probably didn't go, but I don't completely remember.
Okay.
I may have just gone with a friend, and that's probably how it came about, was that this friend was going, invited me. My mom was like, yes, go.
Take her.
And I just boo-hooed.
Yeah.
The whole time.
So then is that why you sent me on my traumatic church summer camp?
Yours was really traumatic.
Yes, it was.
That's so funny. We didn't talk about that during your story. Oh
No.
My gosh.
Oh. But that's so funny, because I also remember feeling like I wanted to cry every night. And
you had a right to, though.
I was very confused. But also the same, we didn't grow up very religious.
No.
And same, we would, I guess, if we were asked the question, we would say we're Lutheran as well.
Right.
And okay, so this is all making so much sense.
That's so funny.
Yeah, my camping trip was...
Oh my gosh. They used you guys as pack mules. You hiked every single day to a different camping location, which I knew some of this stuff.
Right, yes.
And I was like, this sounds great.
Right.
You'll be outdoors. You're moving around. Community.
Yeah.
I mean, but oh my gosh, you guys had to pack in and pack out everything you were using, from your camping stuff, but then from your cooking stuff, your cleaning stuff, all of it. Water, all of it.
All of it. Pots and pans, jugs of water. We would have to ration our clothing that we were taking to this campsite, because we had to make room for all of these supplies. And it's not even that, okay, it was hard. We had to hike up with pots and pans, but people were getting injured. People were falling. People were passing out. People had bloody noses. It was just
insane.
It was crazy. It was crazy. And then I remember one night, and thankfully we were close to the main camp, where I don't know why you didn't send me to this camp, but these campers actually got to stay in in this country style dorm setup, and they had nice kitchen dinners, a pool, a lake. Like, they had all the best setup. And we were out in the woods, sleeping on rocks. And a huge storm comes through, and our tents are, like, laying down on top of us. And so in the middle of the night, we had to get up, and we had to go. Thankfully, it wasn't very far, but we had to go to this other camp group and sleep basically on their porches.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And we were just all lined up in our sleeping bags on concrete. And these other kids wake up in the morning, and they're like, oh my gosh, who are all these people? It was a crazy camping trip, Mom.
You were with your cousins.
Yes, thank God. I was with 2 of my cousins.
Yeah, I didn't just ship you off by yourself and say good luck.
Yeah. Well, I remember, too, I was so mad because you dropped us off at church. The bus comes to pick us up and takes us all there. And obviously, we couldn't have, our phones or iPods or anything like that out there. It was no electronics. And so you're like, yeah, no electronics. All right, leave your phone at home. And I remember being so annoyed because everyone had their phones on the bus, and it was like a 4 or 5 hour bus ride. And I think it was just me and my 2 cousins. We didn't have any electronics. Everyone else on the bus had their phones, and they're all listening to music. They're all playing games on their phones, and we're just taking a 4 hour bus ride with nothing.
Yep. Wow. Yeah, and it's so interesting because when I went to pick you up, the kids were filing off the bus, and I remember this one girl just probably feeling the same thing that you did, and she got off the bus yelling at her mom, not really yelling, but just very vocal that was the worst trip she had ever been on.
Yeah.
And I think she asked her mother why she sent her to hell. And then, and that was before I had
heard
saw
anything.
You get off the bus, and I'm like, wow, she's being a little dramatic. And then you just fill me in on everything. And I was appalled, and I wrote a letter to that camp just telling them how appalled I was at
this experience.
The experience that you had.
Well, and because
crazy. And I never heard back from them.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing ever happened with that, but
yeah. And especially because it wasn't just me telling you this is terrible, Mom. No, you got that little
preview from this other camper that was very Yeah,
it was incredible to say the least. Certainly something I look back on.
Well, I got to go home every night from my little
Oh, you got to go home at
night?
I
didn't. So I had to go back every day. So but that's so funny.
That is too funny. I'm glad we got to bond over that for a quick
revisit
second there. Well, beyond religion, kind of sticking with around your childhood, do you have any childhood stories or young adult stories that come to mind that you want to bring into today's episode?
I always was afraid of ghosts. I can remember as a very young child being afraid of ghosts. I can also remember potentially having kind of out of body, almost astral type activity when I was between probably 12 to 14. Well, no, actually, no. It was way younger than that. Wow. Okay. No, so it was probably, it had to be 10 on up. Yeah, so 10 to probably 14, 15. I vividly remember this feeling when I would go to sleep that I would be rising above my body. And I felt like I was at the ceiling. I could feel the ceiling right at my nose. And I remember telling my mom at one point, I was like, I feel like I'm floating up at the ceiling. And that's as far as I could go was the ceiling. I would never go beyond the ceiling of my room. And she didn't know what to do with that.
I was just about to say, your mom had no idea how to respond.
No, she was like, okay. I don't know what that is.
Oh my goodness.
And I was just like, okay.
Well, now you know.
That's what's going on. Every night when I go to sleep, I'm hovering at the ceiling.
Wow.
Don't know what that was all about. Very unique feeling.
But only when you were going to sleep.
Only when I was going to sleep.
That?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep. I would float up,
mm-hmm.
and my eyes would be closed.
That's what I was going to ask.
And as soon as I would have that feeling, I would open my eyes to see where I was.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd be in bed.
Yeah.
So I'd open my eyes and I'd be in my bed.
Mm-hmm.
But when I would close my eyes, I was at the ceiling.
Yeah.
So very interesting. I have a memory of, we lived in the country, and I was probably between 6 and 8.
Mm-hmm.
And I was with my dad. We went to this dog yard. He was looking for dogs. We went to this dog yard. This lady who rescued and had all these dogs,
mm-hmm.
and he was trying to find some country dogs for our farm.
Mm-hmm.
And I just went off, and I vividly remember I'm standing between, now where we were up north, there were the wolf hybrids.
Oh, okay.
And so that's what my dad was looking for,
mm-hmm.
was a wolf or a wolf hybrid.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm just wandering off with these big wolf hybrid dogs. They're all chained.
Yeah.
So this is back in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm standing between these two wolves hybrids. And I can only surmise that I was talking to them,
mm-hmm.
because I was just standing right there. Once I saw them, I walked to them. I'm standing in between them, but not to where they can come up to me or anything, but they are at the end of their chains to me, and I'm standing there, and Dad and this lady are having their conversation. At some point, she looks over and she's like, oh my God, nobody can get near those dogs. And she was a little alarmed, but yet she didn't rush over to me. She just stood there and watched, because
mm-hmm.
here I am with these dogs.
Yeah.
And they're not barking. They're not doing anything. They're just sitting there. And I just had this feeling that something was exchanging there.
That's so interesting.
And this has been a long time memory that has stuck with me. And I can visualize what all of that looks like. But I want to find somebody to help regress me back to that point. And I want to see if there really was this conversation or something there. I want to try and go back and explore that memory
mm-hmm.
deeper.
That's very cool.
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard that story. That's so neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and kind of that shock of her seeing you standing next to these dogs.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really neat, Mom.
Yeah.
Well, kind of talking about like those out-of-body experiences, do you want to talk about when you fell down a mountain?
Okay. This, I think, was a very important experience that I had to have
mm-hmm.
in order to help me later on down the road
mm-hmm.
with what I went through. And even probably with you kids. So that experience was, I was early 20s, and we were in Colorado. I was working at this camp,
mm-hmm.
and on the weekends, all the campers, well, a lot of us would get together and we'd go on these really big mountain hikes. So
mm-hmm.
you would start at 3 or 4 a.m. in the morning when it's still dark, so you could get up to the peak of the mountain before noon, before the storms would roll in, because you had to be headed down the mountain before the storms rolled in. Otherwise, you could really be in a lot of trouble.
Wow.
So we do this hike, we get up to the peak, and the storms were already rolling in. And the sleet clouds were rolling in. And so we were in a group of probably 6 or 7 of us, and co-ed, boys and girls. And one of the guys says, let's slide down, because the cap of the mountain is snow. So you probably, I'm guessing, probably we have a couple hundred or so feet of this snow-capped mountain field to have to navigate down to where the rocks are. And so he says, let's slide down the snow, and that way, we're getting through a little faster. So one by one, people are sliding down. It's me and one other girl left up at the top, and I decide I'm going down.
You're like, I'm not going to be the last one.
I don't know how we decided, but so I was the next to go. I had on rain gear because it's below freezing up there, and you have to be in layers. You have to be prepared for all kinds of weather. And now this is summertime because we're at a summer camp, but when you're at that elevation, the snowstorms blow in pretty much every day. And anyway, so it's my turn. I'm in my snowsuit in a sense, and rain slicker, basically, pants and a jacket. And so I start sliding down, and I can't stop. And I've got hundreds of feet that I'm sliding down, and there's boulders that are sticking up out of the snow. I mean, big boulders. And then at the end of the snow is this huge boulder field. And that's what I'm sliding down to uncontrollably. And I remember as soon as I know that I am out of control, I have no control. I cannot stop myself. I'm sliding on my hind end. So I'm in the, upright position of sliding down. And at that point that I know there's nothing I can do, I'm just going to have to go for this ride, I get this overwhelming sense of peace and warmth. And I know that I'm not by myself. And it's still just...
I don't think I've ever fully heard this story.
It's always so full of emotion every time I tell it. And it's been over 30 years. But I'm not alone. And I'm totally at peace. I'm totally relaxed. And so I don't know what to call this experience, because I don't know. It's not like I was necessarily floating above my body watching myself, but yet I can tell you what happened from a visual perspective, if that makes sense. So I'm sliding down. I get this feeling of warmth, relaxation. I'm not alone. I'm going to be okay. And I see this big boulder that I'm about to hit, that this boulder sticking up out of the snow. And it's in my path. I'm going to hit it. And I do. I hit it with obviously my legs first, my hip, my arms, and I fly up off of this thing, almost like a ramp. And somehow it propels me to my side, so I land on my left side, and now I'm sliding almost, laterally, or I'm sorry, horizontally on my left side, sliding down backwards. Okay. And that's how I finish coming down this snowfield, and there's this huge boulder at the boulder field that I'm in direct line to hitting. And so the people that are already down there, they're seeing all of this happen. Two of them decide that they're going to go stand in front of this boulder and catch me as I'm sliding into it.
Yeah.
And thankfully they did. So one was there at my head, at the top of my body, and the other one was kind of at my lower back. And they catch me from just totally crashing into this giant car-size boulder.
Wow.
And so as they stop me, everybody's, talking to me. My eyes are closed. I'm probably limp. And they're calling my name, Staci, Staci, are you okay?
Yeah.
I can hear all of this, but I'm not in my body to respond or move or anything. I'm totally lifeless.
Yeah.
But I can hear everything that's going on. And it took probably, 30 seconds to a minute. I totally recall before I was like back in my body. And now my eyes are starting to blink, and now I can talk and say,
I'm okay.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so I lay there for a minute. They're like, okay, what hurts? How are you? What do we need to do? And then eventually I get up and I walk down the mountain.
Yeah. You're like, guys, let's just go home.
We got it. It's again, the reality, the storm is here. So the last person that was still on the top of the mountain that now is their turn to go, the sleet clouds were just covered. We could no longer see this person. They couldn't see what was happening down below.
Wow.
And they just then had to go themselves without any being able to see where they were now sliding into. Goodness. So it was really getting even more serious with these clouds coming in. But that person safely gets down, and then we quickly, start working our way down the trail and getting down the mountain. I was very sore. I hurt the whole way down. I was bruised from top to bottom, but that was it. I mean, I didn't break anything. I just had severe bruising and pain and inflammation from that
you definitely got a little beat up, but
definitely,
absolutely could have been 10 times worse.
Yeah, but that just showed me from a very early age that there's more to everything out there.
Wow.
Yeah. And it really solidified the belief in angels, spirit guides. There is something there.
Yeah.
And I had always been drawn to unsolved mysteries, ghost stories, aliens, all of that kind of stuff from just the very beginning of my memory. I've been drawn to that. And so to have that experience and feel what that felt like was just even more magical for me. And so, that really came into play with you kids, and then some of the experiences that you guys had, and especially your younger sister. It really just helped me kind of understand
how real this was. Yeah. And kind of like you said, it just instilled that belief of knowing that there is more out there.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. It was quite an experience, and
absolutely.
Just certainly never forget it.
Yeah. That's a really great story. Just how lucky you are that you didn't get really injured.
Yeah.
I'm sure your mom was so happy to hear that story.
Yes, because I had to call her either the next day or a couple days later when I had to go to the doctor because I was in so much pain with my back and my leg that really took the brunt of that first hit and then the second hit. So I had to tell her that I had to go to the doctor and
tell her why, tell her the story.
Yeah, Mom, I fell down a mountain.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Yeah, but I see, now how important that experience was that I
Yeah.
needed to have,
Yeah. And
especially with the work that I do now.
clearly there was someone or some energy with you.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And that's, I mean, yeah, it's very undeniable for me.
Absolutely. What kind of, jumping off of that, what is it like for you, or how does it feel, getting to talk to people about health and spirituality and how that all ties together for you?
I know how real it is.
Mm-hmm.
And so, just trying to convey that to people that may not have had an experience to where they can know it as deeply as I do.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that there is more. There's no way that we can be the only beings that exist
Mm-hmm.
in the expansiveness of dimensions and the universes and
Yeah.
all of that.
Yeah.
There's so much more.
And even when you find those people out there that have a deeper knowing or deeper belief alongside with you, and then you're just like, oh my gosh, I have so much that I want to talk to you about. What do you think about this? What do you think about this? And just,
It's fun, and
yeah.
what is so neat is that everybody just has their own personal unique experiences,
Mm-hmm.
that there's just not this one cookie cutter way that it is.
Yeah, there's no, you have to do X, Y, and Z to receive this. I mean, yeah, it is just.
Or it has to look only this way for
Mm-hmm.
it to be real. It is the way to look at it and experience it is as individual as each person.
Yeah.
It's so individual, and that's by design. That is
Mm-hmm.
for a reason, because there is so much individuality out there that there has to be all these different ways to experience it, feel it, sense it, know it, use it, apply it.
Mm-hmm.
It just has to be that way.
Yeah. Apply it is the fun piece of it.
Mm-hmm.
So then how, having everyone has an individual experience or everyone has an individual practice, what are some of your, if you can list maybe 2 or 3 of your favorite wellness or spiritual practices that you implement in your personal life?
They evolve,
Mm-hmm.
but really the ones right now that I try to focus on is presence,
Mm-hmm.
being in the present moment, and being aware of what is going on around me, but also how I'm participating in that.
Yeah.
And reflecting. I reflect all the time on how I'm feeling about situations. If I'm being judgmental on things,
Mm-hmm.
why I'm being judgmental, how that's speaking to me,
Mm-hmm.
not how it's speaking to the outside or whatever I'm having judgment on or towards. It's all me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really reflect on that, trying to be mindful, one, of my food, because that is a big thing for me,
Mm-hmm.
is just developing a better relationship with food
Yeah.
and nourishing myself. But also just being mindful in caring for myself, how I care for other people. So mindfulness is a really big one. Learning myself better.
Yeah.
I think really that's what a lot of my spiritual path and development, it, that's what it's really for. Although I am helping other people, and my goal is to help as many people as I can, I think the trueness to it is me learning myself and helping
Mm-hmm.
me.
Yeah. Yeah, because it is, a lot of it is fueled by your personal work and being able to share and help others in theirs.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And I would not and could not be where I am right now without starting with myself first. If
Yeah.
I don't have an understanding of that, how can I really relate and understand other people or animals or the world or the universe or any of it, right? I've got to understand it within myself and apply it to myself to then start using it outside of myself.
Yeah.
It's just such important work.
It is. And, just like you wouldn't hire a business coach that doesn't have any businesses. You hire a business coach to teach you their knowledge or what they've learned along the way and to stay up with the trends and to stay, in the know of what's going on and, all the data that follows business.
Yeah.
So, yeah, for a life coach or a, health coach, it's very much the same thing.
Yeah.
You
Intuitive health coach. Yeah.
You have to grow through and live through personal experiences to be able to articulate even a piece of it to someone who's just starting out or struggling with something and holding their hand and walking them through it.
Yeah.
And reflection's a big one for you.
It's a very big one.
We
talk about it all the time. Yeah.
And you're typically one that reflects in the morning, but also at night. You kind of run through, is that right? You kind of run through a quick reflection?
Yeah.
Or gratitude?
Gratitude, huge one. I'm kind of moving out of that because now I'm really trying to almost astral travel or lucid dream. So now when I get into bed and get comfortable, I start setting my intention to lucid dream or lucid astral travel for learning benefits. So that's something new that I'm kind of moving into. But daily reflections, my morning reflections, that is a priority. And I spend at least 30 minutes. I like an hour, but I don't always give myself that much time. But at least 30 minutes, that's a non-negotiable. And it's usually when I'm having my coffee. So I'll either go sit outside and watch the bees humming in the grass, drinking up the dew. And that's just a real big favorite of mine right now.
Yeah.
Or I'll go in my meditation space and just sit in reflection.
Yeah.
In thought.
Oh, the Zen room. One of the greatest rooms in the house.
It is. It is the heart of the house.
It is.
Yeah. The energy room.
Yeah. And it's just you walk into that room. It's not a big room at all. But you walk in there and it feels very large.
It does.
It feels like there's so much space in there.
And it's got a lot going on in there because it's a multifunctional.
Yes.
It's got my little meditation space. The dogs have their space in there. It's got my lounging chair in there. Then it's got my kind of office area. Yeah, so it's got a lot going on.
And it's grown throughout the years. It's changed quite a bit.
Yeah.
But I remember
every 6 months to year it changes.
But man, I remember when we were painting that room.
Yes.
And we were setting the new intentions for that room.
Yeah.
That was a fun time.
It was.
Well, that's funny. You brought up vivid dreaming. Lucid dreaming. And yeah, you've kind of played with lucid dreaming quite a bit recently. You've had some tinctures that help to support your lucid dreamings also. So are you taking those often? No, you're practicing just lucid dreaming.
Mentally. Yeah. With intention and just trying to train my body. I have not succeeded in any of that.
It's a practice.
But it is. It is. It is repetitious. It is the intention and it is a practice. So it is something that I'm just trying to stick with, see how long it might take to kind of get my first one. And then I'll just manipulate it as I need to figure it out.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm working on.
Yeah. Do you have any dreams in particular that stand out that are fun to share?
But I absolutely do. And this is, at the very beginning of me kind of finding my intuitive spiritual path.
Mm-hmm.
And the first one that I had was this dream of Jesus speaking to me.
Mm.
And he just gave me a word, which was oneness.
I remember this.
And I had never heard that word. But so in my dream, which I mean, I really don't even think it was a dream. He spoke to me
Mm-hmm.
in my sleep time.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard him speak this word to me, oneness. And I remember thinking, oh, I don't know what that word is. Okay, remember, Staci, oneness. Remember when you wake up, oneness. Okay, Jesus just told me this. And I'm backing out of this dream, talking to myself to remember that word, but who just said this? So I'm backing out in like layers.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was like, oh, Jesus said this to me. And then I back out another layer. Okay, Staci, remember oneness. Oh, okay, Jesus told me this. And I'm backing out another layer. Oneness. Don't forget, Staci, that word. Jesus just said this to me. And as I'm backing out, it's becoming more and more real that, whoa, that was Jesus. And I know with my whole entire being,
Mm-hmm.
because when he first said it, it was just so familiar. And it was like, yeah, of course, Jesus said this. And okay, remember this word. And then as I'm backing out and becoming more and more awake, it's becoming more and more like, wow,
Mm-hmm.
that was Jesus.
Yeah.
And so then I kind of wake up and I'm like, okay, Staci, remember this word in the morning when you get out of bed. The word is oneness.
Mm-hmm.
And then I fall asleep and I go back in. And now I'm in this room with angels. And there's 4 angels, but they're not distinct figures. They're just these light beings, and they all kind of meld together. And it's just this shape that I can see that there's 4 of them. And they're just these beautiful white, kind of bluish almost beings.
Mm-hmm.
That they were angels. And I could see myself there, but I'm just this light bubble, just this ball of energy, of light with them, but I'm, looking at them.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing all of this almost like through my human eyes, but I know I'm there and I'm this white energy ball with them. And I'm like, oh, wow, angels. And that one was very short. And again, I just see this, I know this. And then I just kind of start backing out of that dream and start waking up and knowing, oh, wow, I was just with 4 angels.
Mm-hmm. That's so fun.
Yeah, very, very interesting. And that was all just at the very beginning of me going on this path. But then I would have to say another one was probably maybe a couple years after that. I had this dream of these 2 girls facing each other, arguing about something. And they're like young teen girls. And this was, I think, kind of like a high school setting. And again, I'm just visually watching these girls argue. And the next thing I see is Jesus's head come in between these 2 girls. And he's smiling. And he just appears. And then all of a sudden, these girls just start loving each other and talking nice and just 360 change.
Yeah.
Just because Jesus appeared in between them. And it's not that they saw him.
Mm-hmm.
They were just influenced by this figure appearing, and they just changed. And I was just there witnessing this.
Wow.
And then I wake up and I'm just like, wow, Jesus just appeared and was able to change that, you know, what these girls were experiencing.
Yeah.
And so from that point on, I just believe that I am connected with Jesus. He has appeared to me several times in very remarkable ways. And yeah, just really, really neat.
Very neat. That's also sparking another story in my mind that I want you to tell, which is the message that you received that they're watching you.
Oh, yeah. That one's strange. I mean, I will hear voices speaking to me at night when I'm sleeping. Lots of things have spoken to me.
Yeah.
I can never depict who's speaking to me. It is always a masculine voice. So this evening, to describe our bedroom setting, we have our bed that can look into our bathroom, which is a very nice sized bathroom. We have two very large windows in the bathroom, kind of at the corners of the bathroom, one on each wall. And so the one, you can, with the blinds open, you can completely see all the way through into the bedroom onto my side of the bed, not so much my husband's side of the bed.
Yeah, directly to
straight line.
Yes, to where you're sleeping.
Yeah. And I mean, we live in the country. We are completely surrounded by woods. There is nobody anywhere near that can be looking in our window at all. So we leave the blinds open all throughout the whole entire house. Always. We don't ever close them.
Yeah.
And so I'm sleeping and I wake up to this masculine voice. I mean, just like right there at my ear, saying, they're watching you. And not in a creepy way or anything. It was just informing me, they're watching you. And it was a they.
Yeah.
And I wake up and I'm like, oh, okay. And then I just go right back to sleep. I'm not
There's
alarmed.
No fear. There's
I'm
no
not worried.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I do recall that, and especially the next day when I woke up and I recalled, oh yeah, somebody spoke to me. They're watching you. Who's they? And now I'm curious, and my gut instinct was aliens. Two of them. I can kind of see them in my vision. You know, who I think that they are, but I do not know.
But then someone also brought a piece of information of what this energy is feeling like.
So I had brought this up to somebody that I very much admire and respect in the energy field. Somebody that I've known for probably 5 years now.
Yeah.
And can talk to this person for hours. And I had mentioned this to this person. And he offered, I mean, it just immediately, he got that it was Sasquatch.
Yeah. It was Bigfoot.
And I was like, oh, I love Sasquatch.
Yeah.
I have always been just very drawn to Sasquatch. I never thought of Sasquatch.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, the area that you live in is very squatchy. And so I was like, huh, okay, sure, that could be.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
My first thought was aliens. And so whether you believe in that or not,
right,
it's just, it's interesting.
Very interesting.
All possibilities.
Yes.
Who knows?
All possibilities.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I've just had this voice just saying my name one evening, just calling my name, Staci, Staci. And I wake up, and there was nothing beyond that.
Yeah,
they were just calling my name. I don't know why, but
well,
yeah.
But you never feel like this sense of,
I am never threatened. I am never scared. I am never alarmed by it. I just gently wake up to this voice that is just right there at my ear.
Is it the same ear?
Speaking. It is. Yes.
That's interesting.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I never thought about that.
Hmm.
Yeah, always into my left ear.
And it's always a masculine voice.
And it is always a masculine voice. Yeah.
Hmm.
So, but yeah, just always very calm.
Yeah.
Very almost neutral.
Yeah.
In tone. Just, yeah, interesting.
That's so interesting.
It hasn't happened for probably maybe about a year now.
Maybe you need to tap back into that.
Yeah, I need to figure out.
Yeah. There's always so many things that you can work on.
Yeah.
Do you want to let our listeners know a little bit about what you're really practicing and really working on right now?
I've just finished up a course that's stretched out for probably about 2.5 years now of medical intuitive readings. And, you know, when I first started, I had no idea that that's really what I was moving into.
Yeah.
The universe works in mysterious ways. And so after a year of working with this one mentor, it just kind of happened and came about that I was actually doing medical intuitive work.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I'm very medically kind of inclined. I've always been drawn to the biology and physiology, anatomy, and the medical side of everything.
Yeah.
And so that just really intrigued me with that work. And so then I wanted to really explore that even further using a different clair, a different sense, and expand on that. So I took another, it's really turned into 1.5 years with working in that practice of clearly seeing this medical intuitive reading. But going into it that second time, I had the intention of really wanting to gear it towards animals. Now, this teaching was obviously towards people, and that's what we practiced with. But so I really got lost and kind of forgot that my first intention was putting this towards animals. So then once I wrapped that up, I felt a little lost in how I was really going to apply it, use it. Would I continue to use it? What was its purpose? And so, oddly enough, I was walking through my living room and one of my dogs just caught my attention and spoke to me that, remember, medical intuition was for the purpose of animals. And it stopped me in my tracks. And I turned around and went back to him and was scratching and rubbing on his head and just had this really quick little conversation with him just in my mind, mind to mind, and, said, "Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah.
You're right. That's what my first intention was." And then I went on to the next room that I was going into, and I was like, okay, I think I understand my direction with this now.
Yeah.
And I quit fighting how I was going to use that with people and understanding that let's try and start applying this with animals.
Yeah.
Because ultimately the animal helps the human. So it's not that I'm totally negating what I learned for the people, that it's going to come full circle. Yeah. That I am to tune in to the animal to help the people. So that's what I'm working on.
Yeah.
I'm really focusing, because I've done animal communication for years now, just lightly, just here and there, kind of as needed, exploring, practicing, just seeing what that will reveal to me. But so now I'm really kind of hyper focusing on communicating with the animals in this way of medical intuition.
Mm-hmm.
To one, it certainly helps the animal when you can help the person, because they are linked.
Exactly. Because our pets individually are connected to someone in particular in the household.
Yes.
And yes, some ailments that they may be having are directly correlated to the person that they're connected to. And so your belief is that they're here to show us what needs to be fixed or helped within ourselves.
That the human needs to be helped.
Yeah.
And in turn, it actually helps the pet resolve their illness.
Yeah.
It can be hard for people to grasp this. And, we're gently trying to move in to this information. We are gently trying to lay foundations with each of our topics that are going to move us into these deeper things.
Yeah.
And so, I don't want anybody to, I don't know, get a weird sense about this, because it's, once we really start talking about it and bringing in the examples that we have from, how we've been working with this and applying this, hopefully it will broaden our listeners' perspective on pets and their roles with us and our responsibilities to them.
Yeah.
And we will have our pet episode here pretty quick. I feel like there's still a little bit more that we need to lay the groundwork with to then jump into that one.
Yeah.
Because that will be kind of a little bit heavier, energetic, maybe type topic. I don't know. We'll have to see how we break that one down. That'll be interesting.
Certainly. But it is really fun, even at the early stages that it's at now. The messages that you're receiving from the pets, from all of us in the family, it's so fun, and I can't wait for the episode where we get to share that.
Yeah, and I'm really excited to. I'm really trying to figure out how to structure my offering around this once I get more practice with our pets and the people that they're attached to see how I can really help others out there once I start offering this. So yeah, it's something that I'm working on, and it's exciting.
Yeah, it's very exciting. And yeah, I can't wait for our listeners to tune in to those episodes, because it is going to be fun. But it's interesting because it's not necessarily something that you can take a class on. Like, this is something that you're in a way pioneering or discovering.
Yeah, I haven't taken any classes geared towards animals.
This is really like piecing together what you know and what you feel called to do and feel equipped to do, and you are creating the path for that, which I think is so special.
Possibly. Yeah, I don't know any other program out there that ties in this deeply what I'm trying to bring in and cultivate.
Yeah.
And I have thought about that, if I can really get this into a really good working, not if, I know I can. I just got to see how that really reveals itself. But yeah, down the line, potentially teaching others to then do this so we can really help the pets and then really reach the health of people with this work. So, that'll be so interesting to see how this continually unravels and evolves.
Yeah, it's very, very neat.
Yeah.
Going into a lighter side, because we hit pretty heavy on, some spiritual topics. What is a piece of advice you would have for your younger self?
Oh, gosh.
Much
advice.
One piece of advice.
It probably would be to love myself. I mean, really fully see and love myself, to be confident in who I am.
Yeah.
It would have to be that.
Mm-hmm.
Because almost, I see it as almost everything else just stems from there.
Right.
If you can authentically be who you are and love who you are,
Mm-hmm.
the maybe, I'm not going to say not so great, because it all is for a purpose, but maybe the not so understood pieces,
Mm-hmm.
and then the really good pieces, just to love all of that.
Yeah.
And work with all of that.
Yeah.
That would have to be it.
That's beautiful.
Because that's really what I'm working on now.
Yeah.
Just loving every piece of
Mm-hmm.
me, and that love turns into understanding, or vice versa. That understanding turns into a love for myself, just deeper.
Yeah. I like that a lot. Now, I think one piece that I don't feel can necessarily be framed into a question that we both feel is important, that needs to be spoken about in today's episode, is kind of your spiritual awakening. Okay. I guess that's kind of what we're labeling it, right? So let's go in and chat about your spiritual awakening and what year that really started for you.
Yeah, that was, just as probably a lot of people, it was 2020.
Mm-hmm.
It just happened that a lot happened for me
in 2020
very quickly.
Yeah.
So not many people know this story.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know exactly what all I will share. Might just keep some for other times. But we call it my running away story. I ran away.
Yeah, that time that Mom ran away.
And I did.
It was a very high emotional point for you.
Oh gosh, it was so needed.
Yeah.
Which, at that time I had no idea.
Right. None of us did.
But life just caught up with me.
Yeah.
And how it all started was I had asked each person in the family at separate times, because everybody kept saying no, to do something for me.
Mm-hmm.
Very simple. I had a package that needed to go to a UPS storefront and just get returned.
Mm-hmm.
And for whatever reason, I was not making the time for me to schedule to go get it done. Mm-hmm. And you were right by one where you could have done it at any point, a lunchtime, before work, after work, whatever. And I think you were the first one I asked, and you said, no, I can't do that, Mom. And then I think I had probably asked your dad, and nope, he couldn't do it. And it's not like it had to be done that day. Mm-hmm. It was just, can you take this package and can you just do this for me? It was something that needed to be done within, I think I had 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
to get this done.
There was a pretty good time frame.
Yes.
To get it done. Yeah.
But everybody said no, and I think I left your sister as the last resort because she was, kind of newly driving, and she would have to go just maybe a little bit more out of her way to do this. And she was last resort. I asked her. She said no.
She tried. And
I don't recall that.
Something about it ended up being too difficult, and she said, Mom, I can't do it.
Okay.
But she tried.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so it seemed like, I don't know what it was about this one day where it just compounded. Nobody would help me. All the years that this family has been together, I have done nothing but be there for the family, help the family, put the family first. all of that.
Yeah.
I was totally lost in the background with the family.
Mm-hmm.
And here was this one thing that I just needed somebody else to support me on and do for me, and nobody would. And so when I'm mad, I would go outside and pull weeds out of the front water fountain garden area. And so I was out there and I'm pulling weeds and I'm so mad and the family won't do this for me. And I get this voice. The first time I've ever, that I can recall, had a voice. It just speaks so loud and so clear. And it said, leave. And I was like, leave. And I was like, no, I can't leave. I'm mom. I've got all this responsibility. I've got all this stuff I've got to do. And I'm out there pulling weeds. And I mean, just probably 15 seconds later, it was now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was given orders.
Yeah.
Leave now. And when I got that now, I tell you, I stood straight up. I marched in the house. I got my bag together.
You wrote a note.
But I'm trying to paint a kind of a picture that I was like almost under a spell.
Mm.
I was under the orders of leave now. And I was no longer rationally thinking about what I was doing. I had my orders and I was doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I was packing my bag. I was figuring out how I was going to leave the house so you guys didn't think I just, been abducted by a UFO. And where was I going to go? How was I logistically going to get this done? It was just this planning phase of following through with this leave now.
Also, where you were going to go.
I had nothing. So, but I'm going through these steps. So I get all my stuff quickly in a bag. And then I go to the counter and I write this pretty short note that just said, oh God, I don't even really remember what it said other than I left.
Do not contact me.
Don't contact me. Do not call me. And I do not know when I'm coming back.
Yeah.
Mom. I don't know if I even said love, Mom.
I don't recall.
I don't know.
The piece that stuck out was, I don't know if or when I will be home.
Yeah. And so this was probably between 2 and 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
You were at work. Your sister was at school. I think this was a Friday.
No, I was off that day. And my sister was on summer. Because this was July.
It was. Yeah, you're right. It was.
And we were both in town getting lunch. I think we had gone shopping. I remember we had a day where we were very la la la.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, and I think it was Friday.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a Thursday or Friday.
Yes. And so, yeah, it was the only one in the house. Everybody else was out doing their thing.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and so then I just load my pillow, my bag in the car, and off I drive.
Mm-hmm.
No clue where I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
I just drive. And I drive into our little town that's 15 miles away. And I pull off into this little park there near town. And I call one of my good friends. Don't have many people that I'm going to reach out to. But I call this one friend and tell her I'm really going through something right now. Can you meet up and talk with me? And she was like, I'm so sorry, Staci, I can't. And I was like, oh, okay, sure, no problem. That's okay. I understand.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, okay, where am I going? Don't know, Staci. Just drive this direction. And so I do. I just head this one certain direction towards my sister.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, I'm going to leave her as my last resort. She's a couple hours away. I'm going to leave her as my last resort. And I don't want to go where I know anybody because I don't want to have to talk to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to have to explain myself, my situation, what's happening. I don't want anybody to talk me out of anything. I just have to go be by myself.
Mm-hmm.
But if I can't find anywhere, then I'll just go land on her front porch and I don't know, I'll figure it out from there. Because again, this is 2020.
Yeah.
And
I think it was June or July.
it was.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of places were closed.
Mm-hmm.
Hotels were under strict occupancy
Mm-hmm.
and cleaning regimens. And so I was drawn to this little town, and I just go, and I'm just driving around this little town, and as I'm kind of driving, I'm also kind of on my phone figuring out who has a vacancy. I just stumble upon this beautiful little bed and breakfast,
Mm-hmm.
and they have one room left. And it's this beautiful little room. It's exactly what I would have picked out. And I'm like, this is it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I book it. I pay for it right there. I'm sitting in front of it, and nobody's responding to come, show me where I'm going to stay, give me the keys, whatever. And so I'm thinking, okay, well, now what do I do? Am I just going to stay here in my car? Whatever. Okay. So it turns out they were away for just a little bit, but she said she was headed back. And so I was all taken care of. I stayed in this beautiful little studio room, B&B, and cried my eyes out the whole entire weekend, the whole entire time I was there.
Mm-hmm.
Had no idea what in the world was going on with me. I just knew that I wasn't cared for. I had all of these strong feelings that were coming up. It was just this huge thing.
Yeah.
I think I ate once or twice the whole time I was there. I just boo-hooed.
Mm-hmm. And you're not one that cries.
No. So this was probably decades that was coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And just experiencing a lot of stuff
all at once.
And I left the room, I think only once or twice, just to go get something to eat and come back.
Yeah.
And that's it. Otherwise, the people probably thought I was the weirdest person ever to stay there because they never saw me.
Yeah.
But it was the most beautiful time reflecting back on it now. It was just a beautiful time in my life.
Yeah.
So needed. I had another friend reach out because you guys had contacted her to see if she knew where I was, what was happening. She had no idea. I did not reach out to anybody other than this one friend that I don't know if you guys even reached out to Alex.
No.
To see, yeah. But anyway, so this one friend that you guys had reached out to, she was blowing up my phone. Please let me know you're okay. Let me know where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want anybody to know where I was at.
Yeah.
So I did finally, I think after maybe 12 or 24 hours, it was probably 24 hours, I got in touch with her and just let her know I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm staying in this safe little place and I'm okay. I just have to figure some things out.
Yeah.
And I did.
Mm-hmm.
I did. I just cried and thought, did a little bit of research, whatever was coming up, and started listening to podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I had done that ever in my life. And for some reason, it was like, start listening to podcasts. And so I found Brene Brown, had never heard of her before, just started listening to some of her stuff. And I started exercising right there in my little room. I had to move my body. I had to move stuff out other than just crying on the bed.
Yeah.
I was doing push-ups and jumping jacks and just kind of running in place, and it just, I don't know. It was just, I was just doing what my body was telling me to go do. And I was gone 2 days, and then I came back. I wanted to stay gone longer. I really did. I needed that. But I had this huge pull that I had to get back home and just kind of start clearing things up with you kids, because y'all were very, very mad at me. I was, in light communication with this one friend that you guys were communicating with, and I guess she was kind of communicating back with y'all. And yeah, and she was telling me just how hurt and mad you guys were, and just how you just didn't understand what in the world was going on.
Yeah.
Which I didn't either.
No, I mean, even once you came back, there was still so much confusion on our end, on your end. Nobody knew what was going on.
Not too much on my end, because when I came back, I had a clear direction of what was happening, what my next steps were, what I needed to do. I felt so strong in myself when I came back that I knew that I could handle what you guys were feeling, how to move and navigate through that, and still follow through with my next steps for myself. I remember feeling so strong, even though I was confused as to why am I going through this, but just I had a sense of direction, which felt really good. And I did. I immediately that Monday, because I think I came back on a Sunday, that Monday, I got to work on the things I knew that I needed to be moving forward with. I was certain that the marriage was over, and we were going to have to navigate that. And I knew that I was now putting myself priority. And I knew that I wanted to find a life coach. I didn't want a therapist. I wanted a life coach. And I knew that I had to repair some stuff with you kids.
Yeah. But you did repair with your kids. Your marriage is not over.
It was not over.
And you still prioritize yourself.
And still do.
And still
for the most part, yes. Yes, that is still something that I'm working on.
I don't think it's ever something you arrive to.
Correct. None of it is. We don't arrive at anything. We don't arrive at our purpose. We don't arrive at health. We don't arrive at meditation. We don't arrive in a great marriage. It is all work, and it continually changes. And that is the beauty of life. And that is the beauty of every single outside relationship and your personal relationship, is that you don't arrive. How boring would it be if you did?
Because then what would you have left to do?
That's right.
Yeah.
No, it is a continual process, and it doesn't have to be a continual hard process.
Yes, and it was just this large accumulation of that just came to this one point, and everything just came spilling out.
Man, it did. It did. And what's really, really interesting, and it probably took me a couple years for the realization that me running away and being by myself and crying that whole weekend was me having to go through the process of mourning the death of my old self, because
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely transformed.
Yeah.
Came out of this chrysalis that I had been in for decades
Mm-hmm.
and became a new person. And I had to grieve the loss of this personality, identity, all of this scared little girl that I had been living
Mm-hmm.
this whole entire time. She was going away.
Yeah.
And gosh, being in it and not knowing what was happening, but once I started learning new things and transforming, I learned, to look back on that time and understand it for what it was.
Yeah.
And wow,
Mm-hmm.
how magical.
Yeah. And it really, let you in on almost like this was just the beginning. Now there's all of these other layers that we have to dissect and we have to work on, and all to get you where you are today and still continuing to work through.
What's interesting, and it's actually just revealing itself to me right now, that at that time I was becoming something new, but at the same time, I had to go backwards
Mm-hmm.
and start learning who I was.
Yeah.
And what that did for me, but then again, how that no longer serves me, and how I had to start working through that and releasing that, and just knowing how it has even shaped who I am today.
Mm-hmm.
It's not pieces that I'm going to forget and try and throw away, because that's what helped transform me
Right.
into who I am today.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have to find those pieces of uncovering that shadow, that darkness of it, to see just how beautiful it was and what it's contributing. And so to move forward, I had to go backwards. And I'm still going backwards. I'm still, learning who that person was and what beautiful gifts I was giving to myself through all of these experiences that I've had with, a hard childhood, and, the kind of parents that I had, and the upbringing, and all of that. And, even through my marriage, and the scared, wounded little girl that I was.
Yeah.
Gosh, it's just.
Yeah, because while you are at a place where you're learning and you're growing and you're expanding out of this, scared little girl that you were carrying with you for so long, you still have to take all of these years of experiences that you lived to be able to grow and move forward. Because you can't do all of that work without the context to who you've been or the life that you've lived up until this point.
Exactly. Yeah. I can't leave that person that I was just an empty shell.
Yeah.
Because I'm her. I've just come out of that chrysalis.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, even though you had this death, so to speak, and this rebirth, so to speak, does not mean that that person and those experiences are no longer relevant.
Exactly.
You just have a different perspective and appreciation looking back on them.
That is exactly it. Yes, it is finding that beauty. It is changing that perspective. It is no longer living in that woundedness, which is what I did for decades. I was so wounded and just living in that. And gosh, I wish it didn't take me so long to get to where I'm at, but I understand that there's great purpose in that. And I'm still uncovering what some of the purpose is, and just going, layer by layer. And, I'll think that I've figured a piece out, and then a little bit later along, it's going to come up again, but in a whole different light.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just so interesting. You think you've gotten through it all.
Yeah.
But it'll come back up just a little bit differently.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, wow, I now see it from this perspective. And how interesting is that?
Yeah.
And it just gives greater depth to what I went through, who I am, and how I apply it now,
Mm-hmm.
and continue to move through it and love it and understand it.
Yeah.
And it's just...
That's a very powerful story.
Yeah.
It's a very beautiful story.
It is. And there's still, there's still a lot more
Mm-hmm.
to that story. And I guess the piece that I really want to bring in there is that I did find my life coach,
Mm-hmm.
and she really helped me start to sort through this stuff and help me find my direction.
Mm-hmm.
And she did through something that I just kept kind of hidden in this background.
Yeah.
And she had me do this activity of a vision board. And I just kind of resisted this.
Yeah.
I thought the vision board was dumb.
It's silly.
I didn't want to do it. But I am also one that's very studious. And if I get an instruction from kind of an authority figure, I feel that I have to follow through.
Yeah.
And so here, I'm paying her to help me. She gave me this activity. I think it's dumb. I don't want to do it, but I'm going to do it to appease her. That vision board taught me so much. And I was so excited when I got done with it. And I shared it with her, and we just kind of quickly went over what I had put on the vision board, and just kind of quickly why. But there was this underlying piece. I had this big magazine picture of these herbs, this bunches of herbs. And that was kind of my background to everything that I layered on top of that. And you could barely see this background picture of the herbs. And so after I kind of pointed through some of the really significant things that I wanted to show her on my vision board, that was the last piece of it. I was like, and if you can see behind all of this, I've got this picture of herbs. I love herbs. And she was like, oh, well, let's talk about that a little deeper. And so I just kind of get into, I really love this picture. It was clean. It was beautiful. I love herbs. And I just kept saying that. I really love herbs. And then as I've said this multiple times to her, I was like, I don't know why. I keep saying I love herbs.
But also, yeah, it was just in the background.
It was in the background, covered up by
everything
all
else.
of this other stuff in my life.
Yeah.
And so talking about that, and then me saying, I don't know why I like herbs. And so then it was just this light bulb of, well, explore that, Staci. What is this that's really attracting you and pulling you? And so then I signed up for an herbal, kind of like this herbal medication or medicinal class. I had a new grandson. I've always kind of been in the holistic realm, even though I really didn't know it. That's just kind of what has kind of steered me through my life. And then, of course, having the family, kind of what steered you guys.
Yeah.
So I knew that I wanted to try to, offer that to my grandson, being more intentional with herbs and being holistic and stuff like that. And so I enrolled in that class, and then it just exploded from there.
Yeah.
Getting into energy work and deeper into herbs and holistics, and then nutrition, which I already was in nutrition, just
personally,
yes. Which, I mean, we didn't even touch on those stories.
We have in previous episodes, though.
Really? But, yeah, just my health scare and then your dad's health scare, navigating ourselves through that, really learning about medicine and food with that.
Yeah.
That was huge. That catapulted me into research and the truth behind a lot of that. And so then when I was getting into the herbs, that nutrition piece just pulled in even stronger.
Yeah.
And so then I went down to actually learning seriously about nutrition and moving myself into helping people with that. So it's the herbs, it's the nutrition, the holistic side, the energy. It just exploded for me. So I've just been just deep in all kinds of learning, and now it's coming together.
Yeah, and it's almost like you really just kind of dropped into your deeper path.
Yeah. And I often ask, why couldn't I have done this much sooner? And I always go back to my mountain story. Was that, in a way, could that have been a shortcut path? Right. If I would have followed something with that, would that have brought me around a little quicker to where I'm at now?
Right.
I don't know. But I just, honestly know that I've had to have these experiences to be able to be where I'm at and to be able to understand and then offer my help to others.
And they call that divine timing.
They do.
And it really is it is your divine timing.
It was. You kids were older. I was now in a position to where I could really start focusing on myself.
And also at that point in your life, you're meant to. And yeah, thankfully you had that hard push. But
yes. But yet almost a gentle push. Because once I came back and we really started talking as a family, what was happening, what I was experiencing, and then what you guys were experiencing along with that, it really brought us together.
Yeah.
And it really started to shift the whole family. And you guys started getting more of an inside look to me and what I had kept covered up for the decades.
Yeah.
And you guys were very compassionate and really helped support me in my new endeavors.
Yeah.
And your dad was right there with you guys in the support. And, it hasn't all been just peachy and smooth sailing.
Right. Life still happens.
Oh my gosh. It was still happening.
Yeah.
There was still lots of struggles and lots of figuring out, but I was figuring it out. I was moving through it. And, it's interesting that when I came back and was finding my life coach and started exploring meditation, and I had to start relaxing my nervous system. That was the first thing that I had to start doing because I was a mess. Your nervous system
was so activated, and it had been so activated for so long.
Since young childhood. Yes, I was a mess. Emotionally, just, So recognized that immediately, that I had to start regulating my emotions and my nervous system. And so I just kind of started, just naturally kind of fell into the meditation. And the clairvoyance came online so quick. I was seeing things. I was knowing things. But then that has also, transitioned. It's not always so easy. It's definitely been a practice. But once I started kind of giving in to understanding myself and knowing that some changes were happening, it came online.
Yeah. Yeah, it really.
I just opened up.
Yeah. And, even to things you pointed to a little bit in today's episode and even in past episodes, you just kept going and you kept exploring and you kept expanding, not even knowing how any of this was going to tie into itself. And
no clue.
You're at the point now where you're really seeing things draw together and connect, kind of click in with one another.
It seemed so random.
Yeah.
And even the things that I was doing way before that seemed so random, courses that I was taking in college, and then as you kids, as I was homeschooling you kids, things that I was interested in, little courses that I would take here and there, thinking that it would be a job for me.
Yeah.
That nothing ever panned out. And I kind of see now to where if any of that stuff would have panned out, I would have probably become very complacent and would not have been pushed into these other avenues that I'm in now.
Yeah.
Because I would have been comfortable and I would not have been pushed. So it's so interesting to see all of these little pieces that I
have just come together,
touched on,
yeah,
and learned a little bit in, and now how it's all just falling into place. It's so interesting.
Yeah, it really is. And that's a fun piece too, is getting to, again, really reflect on all those lived experiences and not having a clear idea of what's happening or where you're going or why you're doing this or when this is going to come into play, and just
if it is,
and coming to a place where things are making sense.
Yes. I was in the veterinary field for 7.5 years. I did emergency medicine with animals for 5 years. Then we did the animal rehabilitation. We did that for 12 or 13 years.
Yeah.
Animals, I lived on a farm when I was very young. Animals have always been a part of my life.
And here they are again.
And here it is again.
Yeah.
And it's just, it makes sense.
It does.
Yeah.
It really does. And it's made me so happy to see you doing all of this for yourself. But then you're taking it and you're, handing it out to others in a way. But you're doing that because you just love what you do so much.
It fulfills me.
You want people to know about it.
I want people healthy. I want people to understand why they're here.
Yeah.
We are not here just to go through struggles. We are here to learn from things that truly are for our personal learning. That's it. We are here to learn ourselves.
Yeah.
And there's so much that goes with that, as we do more podcasts, we will, talk about these things.
There are endless.
But it's just, there's so much to know about the universe, about ourselves, about why we're here, and the reality of everything. And it's a really neat thing. And I forget where I was going with that.
What is one piece of wisdom that you would like to share with our listeners?
Be individual.
Yeah.
And that is my mission, is to really try and help people come back to their individual self. And I've said that on other podcasts, and it still just holds true. Because when you are you, and not you from an ego, and not you from
a performance
or what you think defines you or experiences, when you can authentically be your creative, true self, that's where you start pouring love into the universe from. That's where you can pour love into yourself from. And that's where the world truly changes. Because we are all here to be our unique individual self.
Mm-hmm.
We're not to be like anybody else. We all absolutely have our own gift to the world.
Yeah.
And it's knowing your individual self. And the more people that can tune into that and start living life from that, the better off they're going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And then the better off everybody else is going to be.
Yeah. And like you said, we've mentioned that in quite a few episodes now, because that really is the anchor spot for you.
Yes.
You discovered how important your individuality is, and that really is where we're able to come. You know, we should always be able to come back to ourselves and express ourselves from a true place.
Yeah.
And that place is individual. It is very specific to you, and it is not, there's no cookie cutter.
No. And everything that I learn continually points back
Mm-hmm.
to that, to the core, that it is about the individual person. And again, it is not from ego or selfishness.
Yeah.
That is not what we are here to spread. It is our individual, authentic creativity
Mm-hmm.
that we are here to offer. And it's everything points back to that. And everything I learn, I apply it to myself in that way. And it just proves true over and over and over.
Mm-hmm. What is your balance?
My balance would have to be that we all have our story.
Mm.
And to start really looking at your story from the individual lens.
Mm-hmm.
And what are all the beautiful things that you are here, or that story is here to teach you, that you can then lovingly put out into the world, because that is your gift.
Mm-hmm.
That is a piece of your gift. It's not the only, but that is a piece of your gift. All of the really challenging things that I have experienced through my life is turning into my gift.
Yeah.
And that's the balance, is we all have our stories, and start looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
And loving it, and finding that uniqueness in it.
Yeah. And finding the beauty.
Mm-hmm.
And finding the...
Because there is.
Oh, yeah.
There is. If you're working with a skilled person
Mm-hmm.
to help you work through that, they will find the beauty in that for you if you're struggling with that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a fun piece that I really enjoy doing.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy doing it in my own life. And, I do it to you kids quite
all the time.
often.
Oh, all the time.
You guys will come up with your struggles, and I'll be like, but it's so wonderful.
It's so great.
Look at it this way. And you guys don't always want to hear that. But when you do, and you start pulling it in like that, I say this all the time, that's what changes things.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. That's a glimpse.
That's a glimpse.
Into
it
me,
is.
part of my story.
Mm-hmm. That is just a glimpse.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited to see what this card says.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Now, you did the honors of pulling today's card.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first time you've pulled a card for the podcast. And this was only fitting for you to pull this card.
Yeah.
And you have to reveal it as well.
Okay, thank you. I was hoping you were going to let me do that.
Yes.
Okay.
Do we recall what this deck is?
So this is the Flora Healing deck.
Mm-hmm.
And, oh, wow. We have Arnica.
Ah.
And she is quiet rest.
Wow.
She is known for its ability to reduce inflammation. Arnica montana offers notable symbolism about self-care. This flora produces... Okay, I'm having...
You want me to read it?
Yes. The writing is so small.
Arnica symbolizes quiet rest, as you said. Known for its ability to reduce inflammation, Arnica montana offers notable symbolism about self-care. This flora produces perinating
Okay.
buds at the soil surface to store nutrients and protect its roots while it overwinters.
Mm.
Arnica understands the importance of a quiet rest and minimizing insults. By being dormant during tempestuous weather, Arnica becomes hardy and robust for years to come. To remain steadfast, what steps can you take to set aside time for yourself, reduce feelings of overwhelm, and quiet the mind?
Wow. I was dormant for decades.
For so long.
So long. I mean, probably most of my life until 2020. And then
Wow.
I just, bloomed.
By being dormant, Arnica becomes hardy and robust for years to come. To remain steadfast, what steps can you take to set aside time for yourself, reduce feelings of overwhelm, and quiet the mind?
That whole card speaks
Completely
to me, to my story,
Mm-hmm.
to everything that we spoke about today.
Wow.
Wow.
We truly are always speechless
Yeah.
when we reveal these cards to ourselves.
And today, as I was shuffling through, that one just flew out and fell on the ground. So it was like, that was... And Arnica is a pain reliever.
Yeah.
She
reduces inflammation.
Reduces pain and inflammation.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that, that ties in with me trying to heal others.
Yeah. I do believe I had your card pull on video, so maybe we'll have to incorporate that into today's episode.
Yeah.
And how she came to us today.
She flew out.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Thank you, Arnica. Yeah.
Well,
fun.
Very fun. Thank you, everyone, for listening to today's episode. We know it was quite...
I hope people enjoyed hearing a little bit about who I was, who I am, and
who you're going to
why I'm sitting here today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This was a good episode. Really, really fun. Glad it was all about you today. Well, if you guys have any questions on today's episode or previous ones, you know where to reach us. All the links will be down below. We want to thank you for listening to today's episode, and we'll see you next time. But until then, be well
and be balanced.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you for listening. This episode is for educational purposes only. The information is not intended to give medical advice or therapy. Please consult with a licensed healthcare provider before making any changes to your health regimen. Also know that you are responsible for your life choices and circumstances. Until next time,
be well
and be balanced. Bye.
Bye.